flat Earth thing, is that something that you truly believe?
Does it matter?
Yeah.
For what?
Well, I mean,
What's so important about that?
you have millions of fans.
Out of all the podcasts, that's what you took out of it? The flat Earth?
You were asked again about
Yeah.
it.
I mean, the fact that could be news all over the world just shows you how
What does it show?
it is. I mean, the fact that it's a social phenomenon that Kyrie thinks the world is flat is hilarious to me.
Well, again, you have lots and lots of fans, and the fans listen.
So that affects them?
It may.
Oh, okay. I mean, it doesn't really have a relevance over my life. I mean, I just feel like that the fact that it's even a conversation is hilarious. That could actually be news. That's hilarious to me.
Some people thought you were joking. You're not joking, though, right?
No, I mean, it was just like a point that, the fact that could actually be real news. Like everything that's going on, that Kyrie Irving thinks the world is flat. So, like, we could ask like relevant questions. What's going on in the world? Like, what's really going on? But you know what I'm saying? Or what I really believe, or who I really am. That'd be nice. But the fact that that's what everyone got out of the podcast, that's hilarious to me.
Well, we can get to who you are, certainly, but is this something that you believe?
I mean, does it matter? That's what I'm asking.
Well,
Like, does it matter to you, like, that I think that the world is flat, or I think that the world is round?
I mean,
Or is it like just the fact that we're sitting here asking questions? Do I think the world is flat?
And you said this, so that's why it matters. Everybody wants to know
Okay.
who you believe.
I'm gonna believe what I believe, and then whether I think the world is flat or whether I think the world is round. I mean, believe what I believe.
You weak, pathetic fool. You will never win.
Hello, my name is Bailey. This question is for Chris. What was high school like for you?
Well, it was the 1980s, so the music was different, the hairstyle was different, the clothes we wore were different than today, but probably in 5 or 10 years it'll be the same. And in school, I was just like you, probably all of you there. I tried my best. I didn't always succeed, didn't always do well, but I put my best effort into school. Math and science were kind of my favorite subject. I didn't really like English and reading too much, but I've since grown out of that, and I enjoy reading now. And I played a lot of sports. And all of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
Hello, my name is Steve Owen. I'm a teacher here at Riverside Prep. I'd like to ask you about the stress associated with the long periods in the space station. I'd like to ask Karen, what is the training that you get to cope with that stress and related psychological issues?
Well, for psychological issues, actually, when we are selected as astronauts, we go through quite a vigorous psychological screening process. You certainly don't want somebody who comes up here and has a breakdown or is claustrophobic. But also, well, like Chris's background as a Navy SEAL and Luca's background as a test pilot clearly prepare them for high stress situations. I could also argue that going through the process of getting a PhD can be a high stress thing as well. And so generally when people get to the point where they're applying for this job, they've been through several things in their life that are high stress and have proven that they can handle it and that they can get through it. And then also once we start as an astronaut, for me who did not have a flying background or have the military background where maybe I was put under some of that stress in a very critical situation, we started flying T-38s, the jet aircraft that we fly in the astronaut office. And for me, that was very good training because your life is on the line if you do something really silly or stupid in the airplane. And so you really learn to work under a stressful situation. And I think that's very important when you're living up here.
Our guest tonight found out whether there was any land north of the North American continent. He made that first discovery flight, and I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing.
Ha 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 ha!